Back for more of the Argonaut Weekly here at GoArgos.com. Rob Walden along with head tennis coach Derrick Racine. Men and women's tennis teams wrapped up the regular season this past week. The men scored victories over Lambeth and New Orleans. The women went 2-1, also beat Lambeth and New Orleans, but did fall in their middle match of the week to Florida Southern. So, Coach, regular season is all wrapped up. You guys played a very tough schedule, probably the toughest schedule in the country, spent the entire season ranked in the top 5 nationally, but you played fellow top 10 teams just about every single week. Grade your team's performance, both the men and the women, in the regular season with those, that part of the schedule now in the past.
Yeah, it was a tough grind. The regular season always is, but being our location, we can get a lot of home teams, teams to come and play us at home, and we traveled a little bit too and played some of the tougher teams. I think that all helps you in the end. We've had a season plagued with a lot of injuries.
Sure.
We've had, on the men's side, as many as 3 of our top 6 out, and on the women's side, the same thing. 3 or so of the top 6 have been out, but the bottom of the lineup has stepped up and won some big matches for us. We just came up a little bit short this weekend against Florida Southern, but otherwise we've been playing well.
I remember you talking way back in Media Day in early February about the depth you had on the men's team, and if in some ways almost having more capable bodies than you did have spots to play them in. So even though the injuries came, you guys were able to keep your head above water. Some of those guys who weren't in the rotation at the beginning of the season really stepped up and played well. Talk about those guys.
Yeah, they did really well. Guilherme Canino stepped in and played number 6 for most of the year because GSC Tournament has been out injured, and he looks like he's going to be back for the conference tournament, so we're excited about that, to have him back for conference and regionals. And then on the women's side, Mariana Sonnervig has been out for better part of about 3 weeks to 4 weeks now with her shoulder, so Hannah Durham's had to step up. Naomi Higgins actually stepped in at played number 6 and 5 even because we've had injuries, and I think she's only lost 1 match since she stepped in, so she's really been playing well. I would say she's the star of our bottom lineup for sure. On
the men's side, Mike Liu was our Argonaut of the Week last week. It has won, I think, something like 7 straight doubles matches and 5 straight singles matches. Talk about his play over the last few months and also the play of Louisa Sonnervig on the women's side. Both of those have really been consistent forces for your team.
Yeah, both have really stepped up. Mike has, typically had played in the last few years at the bottom of our lineup, and he's been playing the middle to top of our lineup this year and winning. So he's really stepped up when we needed him to because of injuries in tennis. You have to move everybody up. So he ends up, instead of playing 5, he ends up playing 3 a lot of matches, and he's really stepped up to the task. Louisa Sonnervig has played high in our lineup all year, but she didn't last year. She's worked her way up, and she's really made into a top performer for us, and really in singles and doubles. Doubles wasn't her strength, and she's been playing 1 and 2 doubles and winning there. So,
men's team will go into the GSC tournament as the 2nd seed in the East behind Valdosta State. Women's team, the top seed in the GSC East. Rate your confidence level in both of those squads heading into postseason play.
Well, I think on the women's side we're very confident. We've beaten the other teams from the West we need to beat. We've beaten the teams from the East, so I think it's really our conference to win on the women's side. We'll have to play well. North Alabama and Delta State will be our 2 main challengers. Both are good teams, both very solid teams, and we're hoping to get a couple of our injured players back for those matches. On the men's side, we got to play the way it matches up. We'll play a Ouachita Baptist in the semifinals if we make it there, and that'll be a very tough match. They're always good. We have a big rivalry with them.
Sure.
And then if we're fortunate to play Valdosta in the finals, they are a very good team. One of the, ranked 2 in the nation right now, so we'll have our hands full. But that's why we play it. We got to get on the court and see if we can beat them.
And you heard Coach say it, West Florida feels like it's their tournament to win. Regular season over for men's and women's tennis. Gulf South Conference tournament play starts soon, and then hopefully NCAA regional play as well. And as always, you can follow the progress of both UWF tennis teams right here at GoArgos.com.